how many of us could use some simplifying in what to do every day to get better results in our businesses? I've got the legendary Frazer Brookes in the house. And for those of you that don't know, Frazer is out of the European market, right? Literally has companies from all over the world that hire him to consult, to speak, to train their entire company on social media. He is a master when it comes to social media. And, you know, whether it's like advanced strategies or like the most basic, like what to do when you're getting started strategies, Frazer knows it inside and out. He's brilliant, but also he's super funny. So if you know Frazer, you know, he's always got these like he's got this quick wit to him. He's always got something funny up his sleeve. So he'll entertain you.
My network marketing career started in 1987, but I wasn't born until 1988. You could have probably turned that was the on switch, right? From when I get into my story, it always so it's like that's the cue. So my story began. I've got a very different perspective. So if you have kids or grandkids, because I have a different perspective because I saw my mum and dad build the network marketing business. They thought that MLM stood for Make Love Monthly. So they responded to a newspaper advertisement about making love monthly, found out it was multi-level marketing, thought that doesn't sound as exciting, doesn't sound as sexy for sure. So I was in the room in the womb at their first ever network marketing event. My dad said it would be your first memory. I said, Dad, it wasn't my first memory. He said, no, it would have been because I was elbowing you in the head saying, if they can do it, so can I. If they can do it, so can I. If they can do it, so can I. And mum and dad could become top 100 income earners in the industry over a long career, all belly to belly, you know, recruited one person a week for 10 years for a total of 520 people in a 10-year career. Wow. Again, just literally no social media at all. My dad used to be like, Frazer, we've got someone's interested. And we had to walk into the dining room and get 8 pieces of paper. There's 8 pieces of paper piled up. It took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, create an information pack, put it in an envelope, write the name and the address on, put a stamp on it, go to the post office and then send it. Then 7 days later, my dad would then contact the person and be like, hey, did you get that information? No, what information? You're joking. It didn't arrive. Imagine that. No videos, no nothing, all paper. Crazy.
Old school, baby.
I actually became the world's perfect prospect. Like, if you think about it, think about someone who's made millions upon millions upon millions of dollars in the industry. You're around it your entire life. You see the fortune, the fame, the freedom, the fun, the funds, the family, the friends. You see everything great about network marketing, but you also see everything that you believe to be bad. So I saw my dad get rejected every day. I saw my dad get failure every day. But the biggest one was the public speaking. I saw him speak in front of people, 1, 5, 10, 100,000, 5,000, 10,000 people. I saw him do that every day.
Wow.
And I thought, okay, so if I fail, I've got no hope for my future because this is the only thing that I'm going to be able to do that's going to get me anything different. But if I succeed, I'm going to have to hold the microphone. I don't want to hold the microphone. I was more scared of succeeding than I was failing. It was really weird. So I said no, but my dad taught me a very important lesson. The fortune is not in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-ups. So he followed up with me 16 times over 4 years because he just knew that I had to do this because it was my only choice. So I joined. 2010 is when, after being a student of the industry, an ambassador of the industry, I just obsessed with this industry that I loved the idea of, but hated the idea of me doing it. I said yes, got involved because social media allowed me to be the introvert that I am. Bizarrely, weirdly enough, John and Nadya have hung out with me. They know that I'm introverted. So like the introvert that I am, it allowed me to think that I could build it all on keyboard. And I just think that I felt that I put the fun into the fundamentals. I made it fun. I made it exciting. And I think being a leader in network marketing is simply making the boring exciting.
Right.
It's in one sentence, right? So got involved on social media, blew up on social media, mainly through action marketing. More than attraction marketing. Attraction marketing didn't kick in until later on, but it was just action marketing, turning strangers into friends, friends into family, getting them in front of people who had a better story than me, then eventually traveling all over the world, building an organization, met my wife whilst on my travels. Grateful for that. Spoke in places that I didn't even know existed, like Kazakhstan. The 8th of November, 2016, I was in Salt Lake City and I made a decision. I'm going to go generic. And all 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, I've been generic ever since, teaching people how to build a business on social media. And you know what is one of the best things? One of the reasons why I did it was I felt that the industry was going down a very dangerous path. Yeah. That there was a lot of people just spamming their ass off, just like literally just Spamler Anderson, Spamler Anderson, Spamler Anderson. And now we're in a situation where there are so many people training how to do it correctly that we are just going strength to strength to strength to strength to strength. And I'm so grateful for that. So it's been fun, bro. It's been fun. For sure.
Well, it's good too, because it really gives you a unique perspective, right? Because not only do you know quite a bit about social media, and you know not just what like a company is doing, you know what a lot of companies are doing, what a lot of top earners are doing in these different companies leveraging social media. But you, like me, came from the old school, because we did the old school stuff and you had to do so much personal development, so much public speaking, even though you, like me, I hated doing the public speaking stuff. And now, of course, you and I are great speakers. Go figure, right? It is interesting how, you know, because the old school stuff, whether you actually physically did it or not, you knew about it from your father doing it, right? And being around it growing up, it does give you abilities that the social media marketer maybe doesn't, if that's all they've ever done. However, with that being said, it is amazing how social media has become so relevant, because literally just 5 years ago, like you said, in 2017, I know for me, a lot of people were giving me pushback, especially even before that. Before 2017, it was even worse. But even back in 2017, there were a lot of like the gurus that still weren't on board. A lot of top earners in other companies would bash social media and say, oh, it's not duplicatable, bad retention. And obviously we've proven that that is not the case, right? And we know this to be true, because not only have I built a multi-million-dollar business over the last 5-6 years leveraging social, you've been speaking on it and teaching people, and you've seen the results. You've seen how many countless thousands of people all over the world are able to generate leads, sales, and build their teams and have better retention actually because of social media. That's the crazy thing. So
serving beats selling in this game. And I think when you look at a funnel, right, a lot of people that go into like websites like ClickFunnels and Lead Pages and all these different websites to build the perfect funnel so they can automate. They can automate like lead generation and the sales process. They don't have to add people into groups and tag them and message. They all try and get away from that. But the reality is, and I'm a fan of these different websites and all that, but the reality is like automating the entire part of the process is having systems is different to automating, right? Having a system that you can follow is fun. So the idea is we bring people into the funnel and we funnel them in to create a commission. So we look at the know, like, trust, right, guys? If you've ever heard that before, people need to know you, like you, and trust you before they buy from you. I'd heard about it a long time ago, but I didn't really pay attention to it until maybe even for 10 years, maybe. But I've been around it my entire life, right? So it's kind of weird that. So anyway, think about it. On social media, how do people get to know you? Like, how do people get to know you? So they get to know you through different forms of content that you're going to create. I'm going to take away you reaching out to people for this conversation. Like, let's forget you reaching out, cold messaging, just finding people in groups. Let's forget that. So Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, YouTube videos, YouTube Shorts, TikTok videos, Facebook Lives, posts into groups, posts on your feed. Those things are going to get you known, right? Yeah. And I think it's crazy now. Up until about a year and a half ago, I don't think I'd ever met anyone who had a video go viral talking about their product, their company, or their opportunity. Now, people are going viral every week. Like, hey, they're pointing at like, you need this. If you want more energy, you need this. You need residual income, you need to be doing this. And people are going viral talking about their products. And I've never, ever seen that.
It's like the opposite of what we used to encourage people to do. Yeah.
Like, don't you dare be doing that. It's like, why not? It's working. I got 3.7 million views. I'm like, what? Like, how? So it's interesting. So the first goal is to get known. So the majority of your content needs to be that. Now, if you sell to get known, I know I just said like people are selling to get known, but if you sell to get known, you're going to never really run out of people to have conversations with, right? So we've got known. The second level is then we've got to get liked or loved. The like feels a bit, we've got to get loved. So people are going to love us from consistently posting the TikToks, the Reels, and all this. But live video, it really is the key here. And it's funny because if I look at the top income earners now, like people like John and Nadya Melton, and other guys in different companies, they all just go live consistently. People like you and love you when they know more about you. And a lot of people have never even opened their mouth and words come out on their reels or TikToks, and the words are coming through the lip syncing, or it's there, right? They've not even opened their mouth. So if I was to ask the people, so I follow these people, right? They're all doing their reels, they're blowing up, they're going viral. And they were to say, hey, did you know I've got a dog? I'd be like, no. Hey, do you know I'm married? You don't talk about it. No. In lives, you're going to talk about the finer details of, you're going to talk about the finer details of your life, the finer details of who you're helping, who you're serving, what's happened in your business, what's happened with your product, your story. Because the better you are at telling a story, the more money you're going to make in this game, right? You tell your story, you tell the company story, the system story, the community story, Sarah's story, John's story, Bob's story, Nadia's story, Desi's story, Cindy's story. You tell all these different stories. So you got to get known. So the way to get liked is through the stories. You're not going to get found through the stories. People aren't going to find, like, just on Facebook or on Instagram. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I've just found John Melton's story randomly just popped up. There's no such thing as a pop-up on a phone, right? It just doesn't work that way. So Instagram stories are going to get people to like you once they know you. Facebook stories are going to get people to like you, love you once they know you. Instagram lives, people are going to watch an Instagram live when they know you. They're not just going to, they either know you or they stalk you. When they stalk you, they know you anyway. And then obviously consistently creating the content and showing more posts about your life. And then the trust is simply truth plus time. It's just truth plus time. Truth plus time equals trust. You tell the truth, you keep doing it and 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 doing it, and people will trust you. And I think that people just are too hung up about the views, the likes, the comments. They base it, should I do that or not? If it works or not, it works. Live video works 100% of the time because you're getting benefit from it.
You don't even need to have a lot of views or to go viral to generate sales and to generate leads. I mean, that's the crazy thing. It's like back in the day, there was no going viral. This is like a newer concept over the last 2 years. Back in the day, it's like you saw someone you didn't know like something or follow you or send you a friend request, you were like pouncing on them. You're like, a human I don't know. Oh my gosh. Like, who is this person? I don't know who this person is. You'd send a screenshot to your upline. Hey, Sarah such and such just commented on my video. What do I do? Right now, it's like people are complaining because they're like, I can't respond to the thousands of people on TikTok. I can't keep up with the amount of people in my inbox that are requesting information. But anyway, it really is so true that, like, it doesn't matter how many views or what the engagement's like. It's what you're doing with your engagement, what you're doing with your followers, and the connection on the back end. Not to mention, if you're not getting a lot of views, mix it up. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It's like whenever I feel like, you know, maybe I need to mix things up, I'll have someone like Frazer Brookes on my show. I had Jordan on last week. She body slammed it. Like, I bring different guests on my show and mix it up, different topics, different conversations. Y'all,
do the things that other people aren't, and you'll get what they're most likely never going to get.
Amen.
So got to create the content that gets people to know you. Got to create the content that gets people to like you, and we got to keep consistent. Be a good human being in the messenger to create that trust. Right, that's going to make you a sale, but the money's not in making the sale. One of the best equations that I've ever been taught in the network marketing space: take the total amount of money that you've generated from the company that you're in, divide that number by the number of people that you've personally recruited, and that will give you like a basic lifetime value for everyone you bring into the organization. Example, if you've made $1,000 with company X and you've recruited 10 people, then your lifetime value per person in your business that you recruit is $100. But you might only get $20 fast start. And we celebrate the fast start bonus like, whoa, yeah, $20, amazing, that's great. When in reality, you're going to get a lot more than that long term. And the thing is, the longer you're involved in the business for, the higher that goes up. It almost never goes down. Right? It's weird what happens because the organization is bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So the first way you make more money from getting the people who you get know, like, and trust is by helping them build their empire, by helping them create know, like, and trust, right? Pretty obvious. John is one of the best in the game of getting people launched, creating the posts, I'm not going to go into it, but he's got loads of different posts that the whole team do, the scripts, it's a system, right? It's not automated. It's a system, which feels like automation because you're just kind of going that bump, that bump, that bump. Great, perfect cocktail every time. So the second way is not focusing on the number of followers you have, but the number of raving fans or true fans that you have. So there's a great article out there. It's called 1,000 True Fans, like Dr. Kelly or something it's called. I should know it, but it's 1,000 True Fans. It's an article. If you Google 1,000 True Fans, it will come up. Read it. Super, super short. But the idea of it is, and I still want you guys to read it. The idea of it is that if you have 1,000 people who absolutely adore and obsessed with the message that you're giving and the service that you're providing, like how you're serving people, you can have $1 million business.
Right.
$1 million business. 100 people, $100,000 a year business. And instead of focusing on how do I get to 10,000 followers on Instagram, how do I get to 100,000 followers on TikTok, how do I go viral, instead of worrying about that, focus on the depth of the followers that you have, because I promise you, those people will get more people to know, like you, and trust you than anyone else. Amen. Example, if I get on stage and say, I have the world's greatest book, you should all buy it. It is called I Dare You, blah, 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 right? I'm going to get some sales, right? Because people, they know me, they like me, they trust you, I'm going to make some sales. However, if a raving fan of mine comes on the stage and says, hey guys, that someone spoke earlier, his name was Frazer, he has this book, I'm not joking, I'm not kidding, you have to buy his book, it completely changed my life, it's unbelievable, in fact, who's going to buy it right now? Me. Okay, they're at the back, go to the back. They're selling for you. So if you serve, people are going to know, like, trust. You build the depth, whether they're in the business or not, it doesn't matter. They'll end up building the business for you as well, in a way. And they will create so many leads for you. It's just ridiculous. I'm a raving fan of Apple. I couldn't tell you how many hundreds or thousands of Apple products that I've sold. I've probably generated millions and millions and millions of dollars for Apple. Millions of dollars. Never had anything back from it. And I don't care because I love it. And I think too many people focus on the followers and they don't create the depth. Therefore, they don't create the raving fan. And therefore, they don't create this just unlimited supply of know, like, and trust, whether they post or not. I'm doing this. I think I posted on Facebook. I posted on Facebook today, not on Instagram, not on TikTok, not on YouTube. Yet we're making sales of our book, and there are no ads running. Like, how does that work? How do you make sales of a product when you've only posted one thing on Facebook, which is a quote, nothing to do with selling a book? Because people are out there talking about it on their Zoom calls. People are out there talking about it in the Messenger. Mm-hmm. Whether I'm telling them to or not, it doesn't matter. So it's raving fans all day long, mate. All day long.
No, it's so true, man. I remember when I first started learning about that. And building a personal brand gives you the width, but it's the connection, it's the conversation that builds the depth. And I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It's like, you think of like any popular brand, right? You're rocking a Nike shirt right now. Like Nike didn't convince you to buy that shirt. They didn't hard sell you. They didn't follow up with you. It probably wasn't an ad or a commercial. It was just that over the years, right, you got to know, like, and trust the brand because you saw it everywhere. You saw other people wearing, like, that's how Jordans became so popular. It's like everybody else in school was wearing them. So it really is such a great point. And this is also why you have to deliver. Not just showing up with value, but back it up, right? Back it up. Like when you enroll someone, perfect example. Don't be excited about that. I'm not even excited when someone joins. I'm excited when they start getting results, when they start making money. Why? Because now they're going to tell other people, oh my gosh, John's systems, John's mentorship, John's always available. He's such an amazing leader. Like, he's in Dubai. He didn't respond to me right away, but he did get back to me within 24 hours. Like, that's amazing. Like, having people out there talking about you in a positive way, promoting your book, as you said, promoting your training, saying Frazer's so good, he's so smart, he knows his stuff. I implemented what he's teaching and I'm getting results. Having 1 million followers is irrelevant. Having millions of followers is irrelevant. Having raving fans, people that actually know you, trust you, they love your stuff, they share your stuff. You know what? We've got people, right, Frazer, I know you do too, that have literally been following our stuff for years. And then one day they finally decide to reach out. They finally buy the book, they buy the course. after years of following us because we continue to show up and we nurture those relationships. We stay in touch and we're a good human. It's everything we teach. I mean, this is the cat's meow. So I get excited about this conversation, and I love that you're teaching things that really are so relevant and all of us can start implementing today. What are your thoughts on this, actually? I see a lot of people that teach vulnerability, authenticity, be unapologetically you. And by the way, I agree. But there is that fine line because you attract who you are and you attract what you put out there. And sometimes it's like, you know, like just show up without makeup and without like, you know, looking sloppy. And, you know, listen, by the way, I'm not saying if you're not wearing makeup, it's I'm just giving an example of like what's being taught out there. And again, I know there's like examples on anything that is said out there. You could say, okay, they're saying this and they're backing it up with this example. But on the flip side, like if someone goes live as an example and they're like, F this, F that, and they're just like, I'm just keeping it real. It's like, who do you think that's going to attract?
Yeah, I know. I mean, the whole like swearing thing with me, I recently had this conversation with Eric Worre, and we were like, you know, behind the scenes and with our friends and like small groups, you might see the casual, like, you might see the casual naughty word slip through, but it's said with passion. When it's just said in like 4 times every other sentence, it's just, I just find it, I feel like it's unprofessional, just in my opinion. And you know, when you're paid to speak, like you just can't be doing that. Anyway, I'm a great believer in if you're talking about a vulnerable topic and the vulnerability hits you, be okay if, you know, a tear's going to drip down your cheek. But if you're like, oh, it's 9:30, I've got to cry on tonight. I've got to cry on tonight's live. I've got to cry on today's reel, because that's what my fans are waiting for. Like cry on demand is like, nah. With the whole like going live with no makeup, I'm like hats off because I don't have to do the whole makeup thing.
No
like,
kidding.
You know, I know you and I do it from time to time.
I gotta like do my hair a little bit.
Yeah, right. You got to throw it on. But like, if you're gonna show what people see or you believe to be your worst self, then always show the other end. People love progression. Progression is what creates inspiration. When people see you here or what you think is here, and then they see you here, they're like, whoa. People say, don't they say, you scrub up well. Like, you know, I don't know how you guys say it in the US, but like right, you screw up well. Like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting this. So I think if you're gonna share like makeupless, for example, make sure you're going live with equal amount of content when you're absolutely smoking hot all day.
Like
and
that.
It's not, you know, it's not faking it, but it's just, we were having this conversation, weren't we, when we were talking about the whole, like the people buying the high-end cars and wearing the designer stuff and the watches and stuff. And I think maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, I was really like, whoa, like let's cut that out. Different game now. It's a different game now. People are inspired by it. People want it. They'll pay to be around it. Some
people will tell you waste of money, like flashy, arrogant. Like you could have given that money to poor people. But on the flip side, and look, y'all, once you start showing up online, we all know this to be true because most of my following already does show up. You're always going to have someone that you're upsetting. You can't please everyone. It is what it is. But there are people that get inspired when they're like, oh my gosh, like I want to take my wife shopping. I want to be able to buy my husband a new car, or I want to buy myself a new car, or I want to buy myself a beach house. I want to travel to Dubai. So you can't worry about, and this is a tough thing, right? It's that imposter syndrome, or just like, you know, getting caught up in like, what are my friends and family going to think? I don't want to post on social media and like turn people off. You have to get over that. You have to realize that, like, you know what? Yeah, maybe in some ways you could say, hey, you don't need all the designer stuff, which by the way, you really don't, to be successful. But if that's something you're into, and something you're excited about, don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid to say, you know what? Yeah, I splurged a little bit. Yeah, I spoiled myself, right? I spoiled my kids a little bit. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And it really is inspiring.
And this is why posting every day is just so important. I always say that longevity creates credibility, but being in network marketing for a long time is now not good enough. You have to be seen to be in network marketing for a long time for people to believe it. Like you would believe, everyone on here, you could all agree, you would believe that John's been around the industry for a long time and he's growing and growing and growing and growing, because you see him every day, like every day. If John just all of a sudden did his first live and said, like, first live ever, was like, hey everyone, yeah, my name is John Melton, married to Nadya Melton. We live here, we do this. I've been in network marketing for ages. I absolutely crush it. I have diamonds on the inside of my teeth up and down. You'd be like yeah, okay, mate, yeah. Oh, you keep doing you, well done. But he serves, turns up and serves every day. So it's a fun game, but as long as you get the know, the like, the trust, you're going to win, and then focus on the raving fans. Really good book for those of you who read. It's called Superfans. That book is pretty much the Bible to it.